Hi everyone, welcome to my channel M2K tutorial. So today we're going to learn about the DOM manipulation using JavaScript. So in our previous part we already learned what is DOM and why we use DOM in JavaScript. So in this part we're going to learn how to modify DOM elements or HTML elements using JavaScript, how we can add custom styles, add custom HTML inside the elements using JavaScript dynamically, and then how we can create dynamically some elements and then remove some HTML elements using JavaScript. So if you want to learn these things, please watch this video till the end and let's get it started. Okay guys, so I'm using the index.html. Today we will not include any external script file. We will code in this index.html itself so that we can keep things in one place. So I can show you what we are doing right now. So first thing, we need to manipulate your HTML elements using JavaScript to get the hold of that element, to get the reference of that element. So there are multiple ways in JavaScript that we can get the reference of the elements. So one way is to get the element by ID. Okay, so if you get any element by ID, so actually it will only return you the reference of that particular element, because ID is something unique in your HTML pages. So using ID, this is very secure and very accurate way to get reference of any HTML elements, and most preferable way to get the HTML element. So let's first see that how we can get any HTML element reference using the element by ID. Okay, so here I can define one variable, let's say div element. This is just a variable. Okay, and then you can write document dot get element by ID, and here you can pass the ID of particular HTML element to get the reference of that HTML element. So I have this ID already with my div, so I want to get this div reference using this ID. So I can just copy this one and paste in get element by ID method, and if you console it, you will able to see your div element. Okay, so save it, go in your HTML F12 or get here and refresh it, and you can see the div which you got through ID. Okay, so you have the reference of this div, right, using the JavaScript, because JavaScript recognize your DOM. Now the other way we can get this div using get element by tag name. So what is tag? Tag is nothing but the name of the element. So in current situation, this is the name of the element div, right? So we can get this div using get element by tag name. Okay, and what is the tag name here? Div, right? And now if you go and refresh, here you are seeing this one difference with the ID and this get element by tag name. Earlier it was giving you only the element, now it's giving you one array actually. Okay, and in this array you have at the 0th point, at the 0th index, you have your div element. So get element by tag name returns, and this is, if you see closely, this is get elements. So get elements by tag name always get you an array return. And why is that? So let's say I have written one new div here. Okay, and now if I say get elements by tag name and save it and run in our HTML, you will see that there is two elements now coming, right? So get elements by tag name give you an array which give all of reference of all of the div which is in your HTML. Same way you can get other elements reference like p tag, or let's say if we have two p tag and you change this tag name to p, and now you can see your all the p tags in your console, right? So you get all the p's reference in your console. Now the another way to get your element is using class. So let's say I have one class here in div, named it as div class, let's say. Okay, so I can use method get elements by class name. Okay, then I put this class name and refresh, and you will again get one array, because this will also, if you have the same class in 2 or 3 elements, it will return those 2-3 elements. Okay, so you can use get element by class name as well. The third thing which we can get any element, it is using name. So let's say I have this div where attribute name, this is attribute, we have div name, and we can use method get element by name, and if you put this name div name here, so you will also get your element as an array. Okay, now these, other than get element by id, you have seen they returns an array. So your solid, if you want only the HTML, only that element, particular element id is the best way to get. But in some situation if you don't have that, then you can also work with these methods. So first let's say we just go with the id. So let's say this div element and get this div element using id. Now we're going to do some manipulation with this div. Okay, so we get the reference of this div. Okay, now we can actually modify this inner HTML of this div using JavaScript. So div element dot, and there is one property inner HTML. Okay, so what inner HTML do, it can change your internal HTML of the reference which you are giving. So here we are getting reference of this div, right, this div. So we can change the inner HTML, and this is M2K tutorials. You can name it as our channel. That's it. You change the inner HTML of this div. So if I refresh it, and here you can see now inner HTML, a change of this first div as our channel instead of M2K tutorials. Your static file is still having M2K tutorials, but your dynamic rendering, after rendering, it's changed to our channel because of this line which you have written using JavaScript. So you get the reference of the element, then you change it. Okay, the other thing you can do, this is the HTML we have changed. The other thing we can do, we can put some styles also in the div. So if I write div element, again the reference of that div is style and dot, and let's say I want to change the color of the text, so I can put something like, let's say red, right? So now if you go and refresh, and here you can see the style of the elements is changed and there is color applied to it, red. You can, there is so many style you can put, like background color, then other, every element have some specific styles associated with them, though you can also change that. Okay, so there are multiple styles you can change with using this only method document div element. This is the reference of the element where you want to change, and then you put a style to change the style, and then style name what you want to change, and then you provide the value of that property. Okay, the other thing, you can also change the attribute. So you got the reference of um, your element, and you can change their attribute, right? So you can set something like let's say name, or you can, okay, so these are the ways you can change the inner HTML and the style of the HTML. And so one other thing is that you can also add one new element in your document, your HTML, using JavaScript only. So there is create element method. Using that you can actually create new elements. So let's say I want to create one new p tag. So let's say name it, create one variable p element, okay, and then you use document dot create element method here, and you provide the tag name which you want to create. In our case we want to create one p tag, right? So I can put that, and then I want some text to be here in this one. So I put this property inner text, and let's say we put it this is p tag, right? And now I have to add this p element inside the body of our HTML. So we can write document dot body, and then there is one method or append child. You can use that, and you put just the reference which you have created right now here. You put that, and now if you refresh it, this is p tag. This is added dynamically. In our HTML you never see a p tag with that value. This is p tag, but in our render HTML you can see this p tag because we have added it dynamically using JavaScript. This is how you can create p tag. You can also create div tag, whatever you want, right? Even you can create one script tag, assign some source to it, and you can attach in your HTML, and you can run that script. Okay, so you can do like that also. And now let's say I want to remove some element. So what I want to do, I want to just remove this element, this div with id first div, where it's written M2K tutorials, and we change it to our channel, right? So we already have this reference of this element using the id. So what I wanna do, I just will write, if I will just write div element dot remove, and this will be remove. So you can see, right? Now this is remove. There is another way to remove any child of any element. So what you can do, you can get the reference of this that parent node of that child, and you can use remove child method as well. So let's say this div was in this body tag, right? So body is parent, and then this div is child. So I can also write document dot body dot remove child, and I will just pass the reference of the element which I want to remove, in this case this one. So this will also, here you can't see that our channel. Okay, so this is another way. From parent you can remove the child as well. Okay, so these were some of the method which you can use to manipulate your DOM. There are other many more properties which you can learn. For the DOM manipulation, I will put some link below to check those methods and more changing the more properties and all those things. So you can go and check more, and you can do some experiment by your own to removing, appending, and you changing the colors and every style changing things by yourself. So for this one, this was it, and subscribe to my channel, and please guys comment in the comment box if you have any doubt or query, and we'll see you in next one. Happy coding.